So in Tableau's own words, it is a visual analytics platform that transforms the way that we use data to solve our problems. And just kind of looking here, this is a project that I did last semester for my Tableau class in Data 3400 that I tried to use data to visualize different ways that March Madness teams performed, specifically focusing on lower seeds that did well in March Madness in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. And as you can see here, Tableau can be a very powerful and really cool tool that shows how your data interacts with each other, what their different groupings are. You can have different bar charts, pie charts, and as you can see here, bubble graphs, scatter plots, pretty much any different data chart that you want. You can find that in Tableau, and it's super easy and convenient to make these charts, and it's a really, really powerful tool. And just kind of looking here, there's different ways you can view your data. You can look on maps, you can create charts, maps, basically anything you want. And this is just me just showing a few of the ways Tableau can be used in kind of a fun little video that showed one of my cool projects from last semester that just shows the power of Tableau and how it can be used with our data today. So enjoy just kind of watching this, and then we'll go into how SQL can be integrated with it. Alrighty, so we're now going to just show how SQL can be integrated into Tableau. Just to introduce what we're going to be working with here today, we're going to use these 5 tables that we have access to through our database class: sales, sale item, product, employee, and customer. And as you can see here, I'm showing how each of these 5 tables can connect to one another. Sale item through product ID to connect to product, sale item through a sale ID, sale to customer through customer ID, and sale to employee through employee ID. And if you wanted to run a query, which I'll show here in a moment, that runs all 5 of these, you can do something that shows what the product name is and the customer that bought that product. You can output that, and it shows what your customer is. Alrighty, so now we're going to show how to connect 2 SQL data sources in Tableau. So for some reason it didn't record everything that shows on my screen for the screen recording, but basically you click on SQL server over there on the left, you log into the database via your login that we have here, Utah State in this case, and then it'll show your database, like over there on the left, it shows stairway.usu.edu, and then it'll show all your tables there on the left-hand side as well. And here we're going to connect these 5 tables that I talked about earlier. So first we're going to grab the sale table, which is the master table. It kind of connects all the other ones. From there, we're going to connect sale item to sale table. And as you can see here, it connects those 2 tables via the sale ID, just like in SQL. And then we're going to snag the product table, which should connect to sale item via the product ID, just like you would in SQL. Next up, we're going to snag the customer table, and we're going to connect that to sale table because those 2 connect via the customer ID that is shared within both. And then next up, last, we have the employee table, which we will also connect to sale through the employee ID, just like in SQL. So as you can see, you connect these 5 tables via their operators, just like you do in SQL. It's pretty much the exact same, actually. Alrighty, so now that we've connected to our data source in SQL, we can now go into Tableau and use that data. For example, if we want to look at the states that our customers are in and count how many are in each state or see where they're each from, we can now do that. As you see here, we can make it a bar graph, and we can now use some color on that. And we can see how many people are from each state, all of our customers. We see here that Oregon has the most customers in our database. Alright, so that was just using data from a single table, but just like in SQL, you can also use data from multiple tables and combine them and show results from each. So here we're going to look at, like, say, for example, you want to show the employee IDs that sold certain types of products. You can use the product name from the product table and the employee ID from the employee table. And as you do that, you can change and you can show that certain employees sold certain types of products. Here you can see that employees 1, 2, and 3 sold the American Silver product, whereas employee 5 sold 3 different types of products. Just like when you were in SQL, you can do a join and you can show the results for both tables that correlate with one another. Same thing here, if you use the customer, you can show the customers that bought certain types of products, just like when you use an SQL query that shows different customers that bought those types of products. Alrighty, so next we're going to look at how to actually do a custom SQL query within Tableau. So first you click on the custom SQL box there on the left, and then it will show a box in which you can enter in an SQL query. For example, here, select star from customer where state equals Oregon, just as one, for example, that will filter out your data. And you can click on preview results down there on the left, and it will actually show the results of your query within SQL there in Tableau. And then if we now go over and check within SQL, if we run this same query and we execute it, we'll actually see the exact same results from our query that we used in Tableau. So we know that the results match up. And then just like before, you can go in and use that data, except now it's actually filtered out using your query. So it should only show the results that you want in there. For example, if you want to use the city and employees and see which one of those employees sold to customers in Oregon, it will show now that Great Falls was the only employee that sold to any customers via the state of Oregon, like as you can see there, Portland. And if we run a query that shows, we actually see that exact same result. We see that the only employee that sold to anybody in Oregon was the employee in Great Falls. And that's going to wrap up our video for today, guys. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Hopefully y'all learned something new. And hopefully you thought it was cool to see how the different ways the SQL and Tableau can interact. I personally think that it's super cool that in the data world, you have all these programs and how they work together. I think it's super cool to see how Tableau and SQL can interact, seeing as those are two of my favorite programs and things to use here in data analytics. Thank you guys for watching. This is Ben, and peace out. Until next time.